One of the things that just might come up in the House of Commons that we think is an interview that the Justice Secretary gave to 5 Live this morning discussing the reduction of sentences for rape victims who plead guilty. Let's take a listen to what he's had to say to Victoria Derbyshire.
If I had been raped, why would I be encouraged to go to the police when I know full well that the rapist could get just over a year in jail? Why would I put myself through the trauma, the examinations, the hell of it, when he might be out in 15 months?
I must stop you repeating this total nonsense that you're rape. But Ben, assuming you and I are talking about rape in the ordinary conversational sense, some man has forcefully, with a bit of violence,
rape, with
made
respect.
No, it's not.
And this was Mr. Clarke's reaction after the interview.
Clarke, I am not reducing any sentences for rape. That is complete, nonsense. Rape is an extremely serious crime. It always has had a serious sentence and should continue to do so. The proposals I made for the discount for an early guilty plea apply to every case. We already have a discount for an early guilty plea. If, particularly in rape, an early guilty plea is made, it stops the victim of the rape having the added trauma of appearing in court, being cross-examined and having to live the whole dreadful distress of the experience. That is what I propose.
Secretary of State.
That was Ken Clarke as he was ambushed by Her Majesty's loyal press, having left this very building I think he was in, as he made these remarks. I think there are more quotes, Nick Robinson, and I think for Mr Cameron you could say it never rains but it pours.
Well, I think he's going to be asked questions about this, undoubtedly. The Labour Party were critical yesterday of the proposal of this increased discount and that confrontation with a rape victim on the radio, as well as with 5 Live's Victoria Derbyshire, a phrase that he used in the last few minutes about the fact that the media had added sexual excitement to the headlines by talking about rape, might be used against him. Now, let's be clear what he means, though. What he is saying is that he is changing the discount for a guilty plea for all serious crimes, not just rape. Other serious crimes do. The argument is that it saves police time, it saves money, and he claims it also saves the trauma of the victim. So it's not just about rape. Then the other controversy that he got himself into there was, is rape always rape? Victoria Derbyshire 5 Live suggested it was. His point was no, in reality it isn't. Why? Because if there's consensual sex between someone over the age of consent and someone under, that is called rape. It is rape under the law.
Because the person is under the age of consent.
In other words, with a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, which is, I think, the
example
example
he gave. His point was that is treated, always has been and always will be treated differently from rape in the sense of a forcible, violent act. And therefore the sentences are very different, and he was drawing a distinction between the two. But he's not chosen his words terribly carefully.
But his words were strange, because he talked at one stage about serious rape. I think most women regard all rape as serious. He talked about serious rape involving violence, and then he adds, and an unwilling woman. Well, isn't that unnecessary? If it's serious rape involving violence,
implied,
I think we can kind of assume.
It's implied. But you see, where he was on the back foot was the so-called tariff. In other words, what is the average sentence, what's the minimum sentence that is given in certain rape cases? And the point he was making is that it's different depending on whether it is sex with a minor, still classified as rape, or whether it is a forcible, violent act in the way that most people conversationally would talk about rape. But what we've seen is, and let's just cards on the table here, it's also for a man of his age that you talk in that language. He is clear legally what he means. He's not messed up. I don't think he's gaffed, Andrew. It's not about that. No. He knows exactly legally what he makes, and he's making his case. But in the process, he's choosing words in a way that is offending people and is causing a row. Well, but there is at the heart of it a proper argument about sentencing. And what's intriguing for Prime Minister's questions is, does David Cameron defend him on the day that the Police Federation, accusing the government of going soft, doing it, of course, for their own reasons, because they're in an old-fashioned trade union dispute with the Home Secretary about their own paying conditions, but David Cameron will feel the force of the Police Federation, the Daily Mail, the Sun, possibly the Telegraph as well. Does he defend his Justice Secretary, or does he say, whatever the rationale for your comments, I'm afraid I'm running a mile from them?